everyone, it's Roberta. I have this really pretty paper pack by Griffin, which my sister Angela bought for me last year when she was here visiting from Texas. And I saw this particular print in the paper pack with the beautiful peacock, and because as a child I lived in Japan and Okinawa, I just really love Oriental themed things. And she decided to buy it for me. This is the piece of paper that I'm using for today's card, right here, with a fussy cut image of one of the flowers. And then this is that beautiful paper I was telling you that I love so much. Okay. So today's card is using a piece of ivory paper, 8.5 by 11, cut in half and scored and folded. A piece of Stampin' Up!, I think this is asparagus cardstock. A piece of the paper from Griffin's paper pad. One of these flowers from that same paper pad, fussy cut. And another piece of vanilla paper, which matches the card base for the sentiment. And then the sentiment is going to be Thinking of You, which is a Stampendous stamp from the Friendly Messages stamp set. It has 5 stamps. Thank you, happy birthday, best wishes, just for you. And then the Thinking of You. And I did this one earlier because I do not have a color green that coordinates with the car or with this cardstock. I have a dark green, but it's an emerald green. It's got more blue, and this one has more yellow. And so this embossing powder is Pearl Luster, and it is the emerald, and it's opaque, so it's really beautiful. But it's just not the right tone of color of the green. And so to yellow it up, I'm going to add some gold embossing powder from Stamp Affair. And this is what it looked like when I just did it, and it looks really pretty. And I just mixed some of the embossing powders together, so I'm going to add just a little bit more of each, just to make sure we have enough. And really not need a whole lot, but whatever is left over can be used again. There's no need to throw it away just because it's not particularly a color that you would be using often. And this color will more than likely be different from the one I just did, because the mixture is going to vary from the amount of the green and the gold. But in here that looks fairly close enough. So I need to use the embossing buddy, which if you don't have one of these, you can use baby powder or cornstarch in a sock. And then all you're doing is just trying to add a little powder to deactivate the oils from your finger or anything else that would have been on there. Your fingerprints are oils, and they also have little bits of dirt in them. Embossing ink, which is nothing more really than just glycerin. And if yours dries out, you could just very carefully apply a very thin layer of glycerin and then work it in with your finger or with the spoon. If you overfill, the glycerin will not just be on the very tip of the ink or the stamp, it will go down into and create wells of glycerin, which will not be making you happy when you're stamping. I shake this off because it has some powder. I don't want the powder going back in the bag. And this one I'm not so happy with. It's got a little mark on there, but I'll just go ahead and use it anyway. And this one I can tell already it's going to have more gold. Always with this particular stamp, I notice that the tea does not seem to have enough pressure when I am using it to stamp with. For the bits that are on here that I don't want, I can use a paintbrush. And I've also used a straight pen to get into areas where it's more fine. Alright, let me get rid of this. Well, it sounds like somebody's doing firecrackers already. Alright, there we go. You can see it's a nice olive yellow, olive green color. It's green and gold, so it's exactly what I was looking for. I'm going to cut off the excess that I don't need. I think I'll just leave it as is there. Okay, now to do the rest of this, I need to put these two together. When you get tape on the edge of your cardstock like that, you just use your finger and kind of pull it in. Actually, didn't get any on there, did it? And now for the fussy cut image, I need some dimensional tape. I already have a couple of pieces on there. And when I use dimensional tape. The middle pieces I generally do not pull the backing off. I just go ahead and leave it there. Release tape, that's what I meant. Because the foam is still all puffed up, it's going to keep the image raised up anyway, so no need for me to worry about pulling the release tape off. These other pieces will hold it in place for me. Okay. And then I need some tape for this piece. I need to wash my scissors with some alcohol to get the adhesive off of it because it keeps sticking. And before I take it off, I'm not sure about putting it here or here. I think here would be better. And then we need to put some of these green ones on here. These are very pretty enamel dots that I received as a Wishing Well Wednesday wish in the Paper Paws card group. And now I can add it to this one. You can tell how out of it I am for making cards. It's been so long that I don't do it step by step, because this actually should have been added before I added the fussy cut images and the enamel dots. It still gets worked out the same, but it would have been better if I'd done it before I added all the pretties on there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just let me know what you think of my card and what you think of my idea of mixing the embossing powders to try to come up with a color of your own. I've mixed blue and orange to get brown, so you can definitely mix colors to try to get a unique color or try to get something new. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a nice comment, subscribe, click on the bell so you get notified of any new videos, and also share on your social media, your Facebook page. Thank you so much. Have a blessed 4th of July.